Hello, I'm Pam of healingstars.com. This is a chart set for Monday, 9th of February, 8 o'clock in the morning in Hove, where I happen to live. What's interesting at this coming week is that not much is actually going on, which is very unusual. None of the outer planets are making a big show, apart from the ongoing square of Uranus. Here it is in Aries with Pluto, which is culminating in March. We've had the Sun in Aquarius. Last week it was opposite Jupiter, but Jupiter is going backwards. The major event this week is Mercury, the winged messenger. Here's Mercury at 1 degrees of Aquarius, 37 minutes, and it's retrograde. And it's been retrograde since 22nd of January. And this week, it's almost like a trumpet call, on the 11th of this week, on Wednesday at 14:56 GMT, it will change direction. However, through the week, it's very, very slow because it's about to change direction. So it looks almost as though it's static, but of course it's not. And this is as seen from Earth. But what is interesting is also there's a lot of planets now moving in Pisces, and this is going to increase as next week the Sun moves there too. We start the week with Chiron and Venus side by side in Pisces. The most sensitive of all the signs is Pisces. Chiron is the archetype of the wounded healer, and in Pisces, a colleague, Martin Lass, calls it feeling forsaken by God. And Venus is about love, how we feel valued. So you might well feel, if you are Pisces or you have planets at 15 degrees anywhere in your chart, you might feel this pain, this hurt coming to the surface. It's also, Venus, here she is also making a difficult aspect to Jupiter. And that, frankly, is about the only major thing this week. It becomes exact, if you just notice the size, here it is, 17 degrees, that's on Tuesday. And that dotted green line is called an inconjunct. It sounds like it is, it's a difficult relationship of, in this case, water sign, Pisces, and fire, which is Jupiter. The two aren't compatible, they're not at ease with each other. And you only have to think of fire and water and you get steam. Jupiter wants to show off in Leo. It's quite happy in that sign, but the sensitivity of Chiron and Venus together, and Mars is close by, is that maybe one part of you wants to shine and be out there and jubilant and dramatic, but there's another shy, retiring violet that maybe is licking its wounds at this time. Also notice 8 o'clock on Tuesday, Neptune is just about to rise in the sky. Now, the moon at the moment is actually visible during the day. That's because it was opposite, the full moon was opposite last week. And so that's the whole point. When the sun sets, the moon rises. They're in opposition. But the moon, as I said, is still visible. So if you're up at 8 o'clock in the morning, you will see it. That's obviously in the UK. But I'm just going to show you what happens in the course of a day. So here we have Tuesday, 8 in the morning. Pisces is what we call the rising sign, or the ascendant, on the left there. Move forward an hour, and it changes dramatically, and it's Aries is that rising sign. Look how the planets move through the cycle, through the wheel. By 10, it's Taurus. Now these signs, Pisces is the shortest, what we call ascension. It rises in about 45 minutes, so very few people have Pisces rising as their ascendant. More have Aries, a little bit more Taurus, but some of these are very, very brief. Notice here by 10 o'clock the moon is set. The sun is rising. 11, still Taurus. Notice, you see, it took longer. Gemini, by midday. The sun now is right at the top of the chart wheel. And this is important to know. If you're born during the day, your sun will be in this half above the horizon, because that's what you're looking at, a horizon. And the top, where the arrow is what we call a mid-heaven, vocation, out in the world, just as the sun will be at midday on Tuesday, and every day for that matter. There, in the 1 o'clock, Cancer, the sign governed by the moon, is now rising. Pluto's setting. Notice what's setting. This is setting over here on the right. Everything rises in the east and sets in the west. 2 o'clock, still Cancer. Then 3 o'clock, it's Leo. And here Jupiter starts to rise. So 3 or 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, Jupiter is strong. It's the first planet above the horizon. So if you look towards the east, you might see Jupiter. It's very, very bright at this moment of time. And here it is, 5 o'clock, it's still daylight, but 6 o'clock in the UK, the sun has set. Jupiter is rising. So people often say to me, what's that bright object in the sky? And this week, you can certainly see Jupiter. Here's Venus, the other very bright object in the sky after the moon and the sun, of course, but in the night sky. And notice now, Venus and Mars are coming together. They are close. So they are again visible. And here we have, by 7 o'clock, still visible, Venus. So look up, look into the sky. Hopefully there'll be a clear night, one night this week, and you will see on one hand Jupiter rising, on the other direction you'll see Venus setting along with Mars. So here we have the opposite. Of course, Pisces as the sign is now setting. Notice how long it takes Virgo to rise, however. Virgo is one of the signs that takes about 2.5 hours. There are a lot of people in the world with Virgo ascendant. And Virgo is the perfectionist. There's more focus on seeing the world as perfect than seeing the world through rose-tinted glasses, which is the nature of Pisces. So here we have it in a day. 2100 hours, and Libra starts to rise. Good time for a party. And then 10 o'clock the same, 11 o'clock the same, and Scorpio, the moon being Scorpio on Wednesday, notice it's midnight and the moon is still not visible. I wanted to show you that because it's not often that you get to see it. 1 o'clock, still Scorpio. 2 o'clock, still Scorpio. By 3 in the morning, if you wake up at 3 in the morning, you're waking up with Saturn rising in the sky. I know this has been happening for me. So it's like, and Saturn is trouble, Saturn is worry, Saturn is guilt, Saturn is things that weigh on our mind. So here at 3 or 4, you might be trying to sort things out in your head. Then this is the UK, 5 o'clock, Pluto and Capricorn. Mercury starts to rise now around 7 in the morning. Aquarius is then rising. So we come back to 8 o'clock in the morning and Pisces is now rising. So I hope you get an idea of how come it takes different time for different signs to rise, and that's because Northern Hemisphere, the sun, we're at an axis, and it's just one of those astronomical facts. Look out for the beauty of Venus in that night sky, and look out also for Jupiter rising. I'm now on Wednesday. I've just done a day in the life, and you'll see through the week not much is happening. Same, the moon of course is moving through the signs. Friday, moon Saturn together, not a really easy day, but as I said, there's very little happening apart from Mercury. So notice now Saturday, Mercury still at 1 degree Aquarius, moves to 2 degrees Aquarius by Sunday. So throughout a week, Mercury's only moved through 1 degree of the zodiac. That's very slow. Mercury, the messenger, moves at great speed usually. 3 weeks to go through a sign. So the principle of Mercury retrograde is slowing down. And we are still in that slow shift of direction. Cogitating, revising, renewing, looking back and looking forward. So Mercury now, as it moves forward, will start its journey back towards the sun. That's just 1 week. Not lots happening, but take it easy, because next week everything starts to shift, everything starts to change. And next week I'm doing a webinar on Venus, the goddess, and her role through the year now as an evening star. And when she joins the moon, we are talking about the third gate, embracing your power and your passion. Sign up for this on my website, healingstars.com.